Technology as we know it today is completely different from what it was a century ago. It was a time when trains ran on steam power. Tesla's alternating current was just settling down in the society, and oil lamps were being replaced by Edison's light bulbs. But even today, there are times when all the advanced technology we have in our hands does not help us. This is where the works of our ancestors, in its true essence, comes to our rescue. Here at Come Along, we gathered the 5 ways in which primitive technology can save your life. Before we start this, make sure you hit that red subscribe button and click on the bell icon right next to it to get notified instantly for more stunning content every day. With that being said, let's begin. 5. Forge blower. Fire is the very essence in any human's life, the most important Earth's resource that was invented long ago, and still, after these many years, impacts the lives of many in different ways. Very few could imagine creating fire on their own. But with a bow drill attached to a forge blower, a bow blower was invented. A rotating fan from chunks of bark, spot create from unfired clay made from the mud, a covering of the fan mechanism, a bow drill instrument to power and fuel it, and finally, a mud furnace to focus the heat onto it. Hence, to create a distinguishable blower to favor the fire. We only require wood, bark fiber, and clay to smelt iron. Yes, that's it. Orange ferrous iron bacteria is collected from the creek, iron oxide, or FeO, and is then mixed with the charcoal fine particles or dust. Carbon will reduce FeO to Fe to get metal out of it, and wood ash, lowering of the melting point, and finally devised it into a cylindrical brick. Then the furnace is topped up with charcoal. The ore brick is put inside it, and the firing is commenced. The ore brick now melts as the charcoal is heated and the metal is formed, and hence fabricates slag with small 1 mm sized Fe iron specks through it. The intent not being to melt iron, but to showcase the effects of the forge blower. It amplifies the effect of burning the heat and can go up to the certain temperatures that could easily melt iron. A bigger in shape and size furnace known as the bloomery was generally used in ancient times to output usable amounts of iron, but consumed more charcoal, ore, and labor. So to overcome this obstacle, the new yet still primitive technique of forging the blower and adding a bow drill to make a bow blower is quite an invention and a proper lifesaver in the jungle, and in case of unavailability of the modern equipments and the instruments. 4. Water-powered hammer. A water-powered hammer is one of the first technologies that was created to substitute for human effort. It uses the flow of water from steam or rivers to create a repetitive motion that is useful in many things. This is truly a technology that has a zillion uses. Falling water replaces human calories to perform a repetitive task. This type of hammer is used to pulverize grain into flour. This technology has been used to crush clay for porcelain products. A stone head might make it useful as a lamp mill for crushing ores to powder. It can also pulp fibers to make paper. A permanent setup usually has a shed protecting the hammer and materials from the weather, while the trough ends sits outside under the spout. This is a technology that, because of its diversity applications, is a big lifesaver even today. Imagine a situation where there is no electricity. Most of our devices would be useless in this situation. At such a time, the water-powered hammer will be very useful. We can do most of this stuff from this, right from making flour from grains to even making paper. Whenever there is a need to crush something, the water-powered hammer is the way to go. But this is not the end. Water-powered hammer works on the same principle as the hydroelectric dams of modern times. Both of them make use of the force of the falling water. Both of them help reduce manpower. We can also say that the hydroelectric dam is a very loose form of water-powered hammer. How can it save lives? Well, when there are grains, but no method to crush them for consumption, what can you do? You could either crush the whole out yourself, or you could use the water-powered hammer. If you do it yourself, it might also happen that you end up spending more energy in crushing the grains than you would have gotten after consuming it. There are truly hundreds of ways in which the water-powered hammer can save our lives in the modern times. And we can thank our ancestors for it, because even though it is a primitive technology, it's the perfect technology known to mankind. 3. Spear thrower. A spear thrower, or popularly known as the altal, is a tool which is mostly used as a weapon. From movies to Survivor Series TV shows, spears are the best attention seekers. It uses leverage to achieve greater velocity in dart throwing, and it started in around 1000 BC in North America, in the beginning of the woodland period. It's famous for being responsible for the survival of human beings as we know them. This tool is used for hunting for the maximum time known and the finest weapon with speed and accuracy. It's got a hook in the end, and that's the most important function of the spear, or the atal. The spear end is placed into the hook, and that's where the physics steps right in. Basically, it's like adding an entire extension or extra joint to your arm. It not only provides more power, but also gives you more accuracy and control. There's one hook with a 2-finger insert hole, which helps to grip and add more ability of power and accuracy. There are different ways to grip the spear, and depending on the comfort and the required target, 1 finger, 2 finger, or even a palm grip will do the job. The very simple, yet the most mistake-causing step is the throwing part. It has to be held at eye level when about to be thrown. Then the aim is to be fixed at the exact required target. And then with proper power and angle, it is thrown swiftly. With the modern marvel of the guns, slingshots, or even just sniper rifles, spears are the most used weapon of target killing since the 1000 BC, and is still used in some places. The last part is putting the spear. Snap the arm forward to release. The physics part here does the magic. With greater momentum and angle, it constructs a force strong enough to pierce through the target and gets a required shooting output. For the instance of the modern times, some people have resurrected the old dart thrower for sports, either for accuracy or for distance. Missouri also allows use of the atal for fishing, and some mere restrictions like bow fishing for spear fishing. Famous events like the ISAC, International Standard Accuracy Competition, is one of the finest and most played atal events of all time, where players can throw 10 times at a bullseye and the winner is found. 2. Bed shed. At the very beginning of the creation of the bed shed, the primitive technological guys find the best suitable places called the building site. The building site, which is chosen, should favor the person concerned. The perfectly fine weather, rain, sunlight, and even soil quality is what plays a very important role. The bed shed is a very basic shelter that protects from scorching heat in the sunny days and somewhat from the blazing thunder and rain in the rainy days of the year. There are basically 2 types of bed sheds, a simple or a basic one, and another being an advanced one with a sleeping platform built right into it. In the beginning, it's not a large hut or a really well-furnished shelter, but with time and energy, it can be extended as per requirements. Usually the length extends from 1 to 3 meters, and the width is from 1 to 2 meters. The bed frame itself is made from 4 to 5 poles, which is erected, and then the rest of the bed shed is built on it, and the rest of the required materials are used, and the next steps are performed to complete the task. Lawyer cane, a thinner yet stronger cane, is then wrapped lengthways over the frame to create horizontal threads, as it helps more to hold the structure firmly. Then, more lawyer cane is woven between the threads to form a sort of bed spring net. The bed frame is then put on the crossbars and tested to see if it could hold my weight. A mat, made from woven bark, is used for bedding, and a bunch of grass for a pillow. In a rainstorm, it is considered to make a fire in the space under the bed, as fire and a shelter are the 2 most important things for survival for the fittest. 1. Sandals. Sandals are so important in today's society. But can you imagine what people in the past would wear? When humans were nothing but hunters living in the wild, when concrete jungles and the megastructures were not even part of the dream, what did they wear? Their bodies were covered with animal skin to protect them from the weather, but seldom there was anything to protect their feet. Then came the idea to one fine human, and sandals were invented. In the beginning, sandals were nothing, grass or bark of trees woven together to protect the soles of the feet. But it was such an essential invention that it is still prevalent in today's society. Sandals are an invention that saves lives even today, and the reason is also very clear. You see, when we walk, we don't usually look at the things that are strewn about on the ground in our way. We just walk through it. What gives us the liberty to do so? Sandals, shoes, and slippers are all derived from sandals. How many times does it happen that we step on something that could have gotten into our skin through our feet? But it does not happen because our sandals are there to save the day. The same things happened to our ancestors. They did not have to worry about the small obstacles on the ground that could hurt their feet. This gave them the advantage because they could now chase their prey for longer distances and have more successful kills. In the present, we are safe from the tiny things on the ground that may prove to be fatal for us. But nothing happens because we are wearing sandals. Amazing, isn't it? Every day, we walk this earth without giving it a second thought that our feet are saved by sandals all the time. We walk, run, trot all the time without worrying about our feet because we know that the gift of our ancestors gave us sandals is a perfect invention, and they will keep us safe from almost anything on the ground for a long time to come. Very comforting thought indeed. So, congratulations, you just entered the Iron Age. Let us know what you think in the comments section down below, and we'll pin our favorite to the top. Don't forget to give us a like if you enjoyed this video. We have a ton of more interesting videos. Thank you so much for watching.